Welcome to Silicon Valley Asian Business Talk.
Hello, everyone. Actually, I'm Roger Chen from the University of San Francisco and also the Center for Business Studies and Innovation in Asia Pacific, and short for USF CBSI Asia Pacific. So, Alfred, would you please, first of all, I want to thank you for supporting us to join this program. And would you please briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you, Roger. Thank you for inviting me. And this is my honor, and really it's a privilege to be here today. And thanks Heister and thanks Tai to actually have me speak today. I think the last time I actually spoke at a Heister event was maybe 22 years ago, which Heister was just founded. I think I went to a dinner in Cupertino, and I spoke at the dinner. It was very well attended, and so I have extremely fond memories, and it's been a long time. And so thankful to be back. So I was born in Hong Kong, and I was graduated from the University of San Francisco with a computer science degree. And then I went to UC Davis for my graduate studies. And then I got my master's degree from them. And then halfway through my PhD program, I quit and I went to work for Sun. I was at Sun for about just under 9 years. And I founded my own company called BEA Systems. BEA was a very successful venture. So we went public in 4 years and pivoted the company into the web space in the late 90s and reached $58 billion market cap, and eventually got to just under $2 billion in revenue and sold to Oracle for $9 billion, just under $9 billion during the financial crisis. And then I've done other companies and been very active in investing in the early stage company for the past decade plus. And so about 5 years ago, I started a firm with two other partners focusing on seed stage investment in infrastructure technology. So that's what I've been very focused on in the past few years. I'm having a grand time. This is like 2000 all over again for this AI era. So very thankful to be here. Yeah.
What makes inexperienced founders attractive to VCs?
Let me ask a related question, and also I turn to the audience about how to grow the people, but also mention about the importance of looking at the people, because I do have a question. A lot of people maybe here, some of them very experienced, but if you look at the young generations, naturally they don't have a lot of experience. They don't have a lot of histories or don't have a lot of scars or wisdoms. So for these people, what's your advice to them? Also what attracts you if it's very young, because there's no history, maybe for these people that's very, very important for them because they're just young, they know history. So what can they do from your perspective?
So I have to tell a story. I think this is in 2021, I funded a company to do multi-cloud ops. And I knew that was going to be important. That part may be a little bit of foresight to know that GPU is generally not going to be available, so no one's going to be using a single cloud anymore. So we were very lucky to intercept that market when it really was needed. I was questioning myself a little bit the first time I met the founder. Now, in the Zoom days, that you don't get to see the person face to face, you can hide this a little bit. And this actually is very advantageous for people in whatever age group they're in, because that's just not the thing you focus on. You kind of really focus on what they do instead of who they are. Now, as the time returns, now I'm doing probably a good 60+% of my meeting are face to face. So you'd be able to kind of, look somebody in the eye and build a little bit of that friendship in advance of trying to partner with them to do a company. But this founder had a very interesting story. So he didn't tell me how old he was, but he said he was quite young, and he was very intrigued with, for whatever the reason is onboarding application onto the cloud in his very young age. So he knew one of his neighbors was with a company called Beeble. So he volunteered to wash his car. So he lived 2 doors down for free. For days after day was the cousin and driver was washing his car. So finally the guy gave him an internship. And that's when he got in trouble because they find out that he was under 16 years old. And then, but he was so good, he liked it so much, he quit school and joined the company full time. Beeble got bought by Twitch. So somewhere in that journey, he became the head of DevOps at Twitch. Twitch got bought by Amazon. So then he rolled into Amazon. So he was giving speeches in Vegas at Amazon's conference that has to be escorted in and escorted out because he's an underage kid. When I funded him to do a company, he was 19 years old, okay? So I think now we're in an era where children are learning about technology very, very early on in age. And this discovery of that they have a special talent is very easy to spot than it used to be. And they can do things and do amazing things like start writing code in a super early age. You can see these kind of summer camps that they're teaching kids before they're 10 or they're coding. So I think we're looking at a new generation of intelligent workforce that's going to be in a very early age. Why did I like, his name is Johnny Dallas, why did I like Johnny so much? Because Johnny has no box. Because he never went into any box. So there's no box that can constrain him. So when I talk to him, it's like the world is completely freed up. All the things that I'm actually constrained from, and I used to think that I think out of the box, was nothing compared to him because he really was never in the box. Actually, I learned a lot in my time spending one-on-one with him to learn how to free myself from the box itself, to be more daring, to try harder, right? I tell you, this world has remarkable people that are the biggest risk taker. Elon is the biggest risk taker, right? You know, if he had made $200 billion, he will borrow another 100 to bet 300 on his next thing, right? Most of the world on the side looking and say, is the guy mad? But you know what? I admire that level of risk-taking to the tilt. That's how you build next thing. Shoot a rocket into the sky, right? And build a satellite network that we didn't think was possible by civilians. So I think that part of it is extraordinarily intriguing, which is why I encourage team always have to add young people to an extent. Obviously, I love them to finish school. Otherwise, you'll be out of business. Nobody's going to be studying in university. That's, to me, nothing still beat education. And he promised me, by the way, when I funded him, I said, at some point in your life, you must go to college and get your degree. Whether it's part-time, but in whatever, and with his skills, he'll be able to blast through it in no time. But he still should do it.
Make an honorary degree, actually.
No, not honor, real one. I think diversified education, because I think university is a place to teach people how to learn. It's not a place to teach people about knowledge. I think what I learned in the university was really the skill to learn, which then is a lifelong skill. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, any questions from the audience relating to this? Yeah, please.
How to find good co-founders.
Yeah, well, first, thank you, Alfred, for wonderful great share today. I have two questions. First one, in your speech, you mentioned like people are most important for business to thrive and successful. As an entrepreneur right now, I'm looking for founder and partners as CTOs. I wonder like what the characters I should look for, identify who will be the good founders or partners are. And the second question is sometimes like right now I'm working with my friends. So I have they're good at technical part, but they are very strong, employee mindset. How I can help them and motivate them to transform that mindset to be more better founders?
This is a very good question. Let me repeat the question. The question is, if you are a founder and you're out to look for, let's say, an additional founder to join you, let's say a CTO, for example, what characteristics of the person you should be looking for? I think the biggest challenge that we have is our society tends to have, generally not too honest about ourselves. So we rarely reflect on to say what's really important to us, what's our core value. And sometimes they're not popular thing to say. Sometimes we may have a gender bias. We may be our motivation may be solely because of money. It might not be wrong, but it's not politically correct to say, right? So then we would describe the people we want to invite into working with us to have values that you at the end really don't appreciate, right? So, and I think I spend a lot of time on this because oftentimes we do some pre-seeds, and in pre-seeds, I really don't like solo founders for this reason, right? Because this journey is so hard. It's great to have co-founder because then you share really this experience and the pain that you cannot explain to anybody with. Otherwise, it's a completely lonely journey. And I think most of the time that they feel that if I'm really successful as an investor of this company, they feel I'm almost like a co-founder to them. So they confide with me, that the really deep dark secret that they have and the thing they struggle with. But compatibility is a very crucial thing. If you're somebody you like working with, you can't wait to see them the next day. If they're not totally compatible, this is just no fun. It's just downhill from there. I think, unfortunately, especially in this country, we're just not that honest about that, right? And our speed is not fast enough. If you're in China, the speed is fast enough that almost you roll into the next thing. Here, well, maybe the new version of China may not be able to go in that speed anymore, but we don't have that speed here. Building a company still takes multiple of years. Even an AI company, the technology may be moving very quickly. The people and the go-to-market part still takes too much time. So I would highly encourage, not only just you as a founder, but really you have the rest of your core team at this point in time to have a brutally honest discussion on what's your core value. I mean, people, write down 4 or 5 things and stick a poster on the wall, but they don't really look at them. I think we all underestimate how crucial that really is, because the company that really is successful, they truly mean it and they stick by it. But that would be the way that I kind of look at this, right? I mean, then once you have that, once you really know what you want, then I think it will make it so much easier to look for that person and much easier for the person not to fail. The worst part that you have is, I know what you're scared with, is you bring the co-founder in, that fails. First of all, it costs a lot. The other thing is slow the company down. The worst enemy of any startup is time. So nobody wants an old startup, right? People all want fresh startup. So time is probably more important essence than money for a startup. So I would just be brutally honest. I think this is the same thing for your other colleagues. I used to don't believe in these things like Maya breaks, which turn out to be actually very useful tools, and also having hiring and spending money on external person, because then they can actually professionally extract these kind of information out of you. I really wish I have a clinical psychology degree for that reason, because then you'll be able to really know what you really believe in. Then adding any other person would be much easier. Then your failure rate is going to be much, much lower. I highly encourage everybody tries that. I'm trying my best to convince every single one of our company to go through that process. Having a group of people you love working with is such a delight. And having someone's going wrong and become weird, oh my God, nothing feels worse than that.
That's great. You have another question? Did you say 2?
It seems like the second one is more like, right now I'm working with my friend, they're very strong in the technical stack, but they never had entrepreneurial experience like me before. So I think that when working with them, I noticed they have very strong employee mindset, and they always see the problem, and they always share with me lots of problems. Instead of try to work, figure out the solutions, how we deal with it. It's okay, yeah. Well, as a startup, we're going to lots of obstacles, we just have to find a solution instead of just, always overthinking and worry about the problems.
So you have to teach. This is something you will have to do. You have to be their coach. So and sometimes because they are a friend, you don't want to show them things that they really don't know. But I think everyone is capable of learning. I was not one to sell. My personality is extraordinarily introverted, and the last thing I want to do is stick my hand out and ask for an order. But I think this is something the human can really learn. And if you can learn that, wow, it's all power to you. And I think that gift, if you have to pass on to a bunch of other people. It might not be for everyone. Some of them, they really don't want to learn. I think that's okay. They will have their role. But for you not to be so lonely and to help them to make decisions faster, this part you will have to teach. Literally, you convince yourself, okay, I know that they don't think this way, but they must think this way. So I'm going to have to spend time to teach them. And you have to make it explicit, I'm teaching you, okay? And if they don't want to learn, then they will be the wrong people you're working with. And I highly encourage you to do that. Direct dealing with things will be the best.
Thank you for watching.